do believe we are live. So I'll say indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. At least my thumbnail had good hair for like 1 second. At least, right? Like at least I could lie to you about what I was gonna look like for the start of it. Literally as I was going to go live, the wind started to like, oh wait, dude, we see you're going live. Let's say hi before you do. It's nice to have you friends here with me. Sending you blessings. I've been getting attacked by pollen or something, so my mind has been feeling so congested, right? Like my entire sinuses, it feels like it's extending into my brain and it's like pulling them on strings or something. I don't know how to explain it. It's nice having you friends here. Today's stream topic is going to be about external validation. It's nice that I start today's streams off with like a fractal of needing external validation just a little bit, right? Let me know that I'm still beautiful, please. Type in chat. You're still beautiful, Meld. Even if you look like the guy from Discovery Channel talking about aliens. Love is true. This episode's going to hit me deep in the feels hole. Yeah, I hope so, bro. Today's stream topic is very much inspired by this understanding that our need for external validation is backwards. You're like, what does that mean, Melt? It means that if you don't exist, right? Like the condition of needing external validation is internal existence, right? That's the point I'm trying to make today. That you are kind of the thing that needs to be before the external validation even could hope to, right? Without your existence, there is no need for validation either. So, why? Why do we need external validation? Why does it help? I think that's the thing that's more curious. It's not so much the question of why do we need it, but why when we get it does it feel good? Why when we get it does it make us worry less about stuff? All right, that's the thing that kind of fascinates me. I'm like instantly having a bad mood because of my fucking hair. Like the wind, please. Please, Win, can you not just like go this way instead? I would have like just this way. I would do anything. I would do a rain dance tomorrow, I promise. Some allergies be a beast sometimes. I'm getting wrecked. We have Giovanni here as well. I've already taken an antihistamine. I think I'm also mildly sitting in the freaking direct sunlight. So, my fault. Joy Viv is here too. I need and crave external validation so damn bad it hurts. Often. Why? Why? And why does it help? Right? Can we answer those questions today, Dr. Dad? Is the thing that I'm wondering about. I think they changed like the comment setup on the YouTube too. Day 1108. African man yells at the wind. African man has his hair day ruined. African man has bad hair day because of wind. Yes. That makes it worse. Like I can't even sit in that direction of the wind because it's like it just pushes it against my fucking skull. Okay, I'm gonna be fine. You know what? Let's restyle. This is probably the worst thing I could do. But it's the only way I'm gonna feel less insane. Continuing the rest of the stream. Feel less insane, look more insane. Yeah. Okay. Now I look and feel more insane. Nice. I have achieved nothing. Bro. It's so much nuts. Okay. I fucking hate this so much. Oh, not having a good time right now. I'm back in a second. Think you can win? You think you can win? I'll show you hair. I'll show you some water. Freaking think you can outsmart me? with your rigidity. I got water. This has got a nice actually. I think I got some grass in my hair as well, but it's right. Yeah, some sex. That is some successfuls. It hurts. Oh, it hurts. Oh, why? Why do I keep having long curly hair, bro? And like it's not that great most of the time, right? But it's that one time, that 1 second where it works for like a moment that makes it all worth it, right? Send help, please. Send a hairstylist. Where's Isaac right now? I need an Isaac in my life. I need an Isaac in my life right now. Let me see if I can get my lighting a little bit better at the very least. At least the wind is not messing. Like I can feel it. It's like it's going this way now at least. Yes. Things are better. I feel better. You feel better? No? You've just been like, we haven't cared. No. We're still not caring. Love is true. Doc, I hereby validate you. Mojo, thank you for validating Doc Dad. I hereby validate you. Somebody validate me. And then whoever validates me, validate them. Love is true. Sam, he's also yelling at pollen. That's true. How do I know if I'm pretty if you don't tell me? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I feel that whole situation we just went through with the hair was such a perfectly apt example of the whole external validation fractal, right? I didn't have to say anything. I could have just quietly looked into camera trying to fix my shit and it would have still been just as worthy of like a experience. Be like, how about that? How about that? Just watching me seeking external. I don't even know if it was external validation. It was my own validation, technically speaking, but it was adjacent to external validation. Maybe there's an umbrella you can sit under, lady style, Melt. I have been thinking about it. I know that the clouds are pulling up, and I also know that the sun is gonna keep setting on this side, so I'll get more and more shade as it continues, at the very least. I have some strawberry runs. Some of the last of my strawberry runs. I have like only 3 budsicles left. I cry. I am sad. That was the first stream that I smoked of this batch though, so I'm happy to be experiencing it with you friends again. Like there's a certain level of nostalgia almost attached to it in that way. Oh my goodness! I just spilled my cup of waters. And all of my stuff is getting wet now. That's very inconvenient. My poor kalimba, absolutely soaked. My new cards. I don't think they like that. It's water all the way to my little book. I will dry it patiently and calmly. It soaked some of the water up. You know that color paper takes on when it absorbs water? I need to hear this morning. Are you okay? Don't cry over spilled water, they say. I'm not crying. I'm just worried about my stuff, really. Right? Like, I'm okay. My stuff can be replaced, but I don't really want them to get wet. Okay, this is fine. Now I have a little bit more humidity rising past my body as all of this water evaporates slowly but surely. My cushion did get wet, but there's no getting out of it now, and there's no use in moving. All right. What happened was I kind of expected my cup to be empty, and it very much wasn't. So it slipped out of my fingertips, and I dropped it on the ground again. External validation. Tell me I'm not stupid, please. Validating yourself is what really matters. Exactly. Put it in a ponytail. Nay. Nay. I don't like ponytails because it makes me feel like I'm being, like my whole skull is being pulled. A boy who has ADHD/autism, undiagnosed, has been told 22,000 times that they're lazy and not good enough. By the age of 12, I think I crave people telling me I'm doing something good because I usually got the opposite. That's too real. Fuck that. Me too, bro. Me too, man. I get that. I do get that, dude. Maybe that is why. Maybe that is why we seek validation. Maybe that is why the validation feels good. It's because we experience the lack of it at some point in our lives. Is that why? Is it that simple? I want it to be. Because then I can articulate it to myself, right? Be like, yeah, things happened when you were a kid. Don't let these things shape your current existence. But there's only so much you can do. Gene Wilder looking down on that mess in approval. Is Gene Wilder a hair person? Hey Google, who is Gene Wilder? American actor and comedian. They're opening a little box for me to witness their photo, but this is what I'm stuck with. Oh, bro. Hey Google, show me Gene Wilder. Second time's the charm? There we go. Oh, wow. Willy Wonka. Old school Willy Wonka as Gene Wilder. Yeah, what a dude. What a dude indeed. VO5 hot oil treatment required. Let's try to have VO5 stop carrying that product in my country, I think, Simon. I don't even know what you're talking about, so I need to hear this morning. You are loved, dear Jovan. There is nothing to validate because you already are, right? That your existence is the ultimate validation of love. Right? That is the thing I'm trying to communicate to today's stream. The fact of your existence is already the ultimate validation of yourself. Right? Can we all just take a moment to absorb that while I heat up this little vape? Because if you didn't exist, there would be no need for external validation either, would there? So, what came first, the chicken or the egg? You or the need for validation? Strawberry runs. Job's done. All right. Validation. I really like Duck Dad's awareness of not being told you're doing good enough when you were a child, being ADHD or autistic, not understanding how people want you to do things, not understanding why they want you to do things the way they want you to do things. Sky Guardian is here with us as well. Bless you, dear friend. It's nice having you. It seems like your beliefs are in line with Advaita Vedanta. Hey Google, who is Advaita Vedanta? Is a school of Hindu philosophy and in Hindu sadhana, a path of spiritual discipline and experience. I wouldn't be surprised, dear friend. I consider my path very much a solo one, right? Because I believe every single one of us, our journeys towards spirituality is going to be a solo one. You might be gravitating towards the Hindu philosophy. For instance, if I had to be into Hindu philosophy, I'd probably be a Shivist, right? I really do like myself some Shiva. I identify with Shiva as well. I see myself as a Shiva avatar, but that's again getting into labeling of the spiritual path that we're on. I believe I am supposed to be a mirror, right? That's ultimately what I am. I am a mirror for you to look into. And then something on the inside is reflected, right? You're feeling something, you're seeing something, you're thinking something, you're experiencing something. All of that is not me externally validating your experience. It's you technically externally validating mine, right? In a weird way, right? In this fractal, I'm the one in need of external validation. And it's the same way with a mirror, right? A mirror needs to be validated by external validation. Like if you don't go up to the mirror and look in the mirror, then the mirror doesn't serve a function, technically speaking, right? And I don't think I don't serve a function outside of this space as much as I want to serve a function in this space, right? And I feel as soon as we start to create like schools or dogmas or certain disciplines around how spirituality is supposed to look like, it it gets so muddy so quickly, where it becomes a competition. Unwittingly, even it becomes a one-upments of like who can be more spiritual or who can be more enlightened, who can be more pure, who can whatever, right? So yeah, point I'm trying to make, Sky Guardian, is that all of these teachings technically have some form of truth in them. And I believe we find ourselves in a time in history where we actually have access to all of these teachings at the same time. So it's up to us as scholars to absorb all of this information and then to apply the wisdom into our lives and to see how we can serve our communities, how we can serve, basically this physical form, this experiencer from that perspective onward. Tats Vam Asi, you are that. You are that which you are looking for, dear friend. For wherever you go, there you are. And no matter how lost you get, you will always find yourself right back here and now. Love is true. It's nice having you friends here. Could have been worse, could have been lemonade, true. Could have been Coca-Cola. Freaking Coca-Cola. If you spill that shit on stuff, it gets everywhere and it will stick to stuff forever. What's worse? Coffee, because it has milk in it potentially. That also would be pretty disastrous. Water is fine. Hey, I see Cable's name. Bless you. Hi, Simon. I don't know if I've said hi directly just yet, but bless you, friend. It's nice having you here with us. I'll tell you whatever you need. Don't be sad. Love is true. Got horribly mean words when I ask for validation. No mean intentions. So I feel like I got to fix it within me, but it hurts. Horribly mean words when I ask for validation. No mean intentions. Like you did not have any mean intentions, or the other person did not have any mean intentions, but they still gave you a horribly mean words. Doesn't make it any easier. For what it's worth, for what it's worth, Jovan, in the same way that I feel we don't need external validation because we are technically the ones that create the opportunity for that external validation, I also feel like the other way can be true, right? Like the fault is on that person for not considering the amount of impact that their words would have on you, right? And in a weird way, Jovan, and I don't know the context, right? But in a weird way, they might even feel embarrassed, unvalidated, if you made it known to them how they made you feel by saying something so, unwell thought through. Sending you lovin's. You are awesome, Jovan. Don't you doubt it for a second. Myself doesn't really care if I tell myself I'm good, unfortunately. I'm working on it, but damn, it's slow, especially when you don't get that validation from family outside of wow, cool. Yeah. Oh, well, cool. And then move on. Yeah. Like that one I've learned to just keep to myself as well, Like I try and I sometimes will get people to go with me kind of vibe, but they'll go with me as far as they can until they go, wow, cool. And then they leave. Right? So I'll have the wow, cool moment with them and I'll see it as good, Duck Dad. I'll see it as, yeah, wow, is cool. Yeah, I agree. And then you allow yourself the depth of the connection that lies there, right? And we had a stream topic about that a few days ago, maybe a few weeks ago now, is that you cannot make the same connections for someone else, right? Like for me and Vessel, for example, me and Vessel experientially are very much the same person, right? Both of us are very much into our technology. Both of us are relatively lazy. Like we don't really like doing like hard labor kind of vibe, right? We can do hard labor, but we're not really too stoked about it. So I feel that same with him. He really enjoys his computer the way I do too. However, when it comes to plants, he would only go, wow, cool. And that would be the end of the fascination for him, right? Like there's no way for me to get him to have the same level of fascination I have for my plants, right? Because I would like if he would be a little bit more fascinated and checked on them once a day or whatever. I would like that, but that is not going to happen. Like it's just simply not going to happen. And it's again that whole fractal of know yourself, know your family members as well, right? Know that they won't necessarily be all that interested in this thing that you might be interested in. And that doesn't make them uninterested in you, it just makes them uninterested in the thing, right? And vice versa for the things that they might be interested as well. So that feels like it slots into external validation in somewhere, right? You feel your mind consciously evolving? I feel mine at least. Your love, Duck Dad. We're not the only ones experiencing these things. Maybe that's another fractal to feel validated by, bro. You're not alone in feeling alone. Tangibly related to today's topic. You are allowed your feelings when people have been jerks to you. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You absolutely are. Right? Like this is me. I think it's a little bit petty, some things considered, but still, I am allowed my feelings, right? Right. So last night, we were basically trying to get ready for dinner. We got called for dinner. We got into the kitchen. Dinner was like 15 minutes from ready or something, and the family disperses. And then we got called for dinner again. And then me, my sister, and my brother gather in the kitchen. And my brother gets angry with my sister for calling him because he's busy with stuff and he doesn't want to just be standing around in the kitchen waiting for nothing. Eventually, the food gets ready. Like the bowls are set or whatever. And as we start putting food in the bowls, my sister, with a can of, it's called Peaceful Sleep. You might know it as like mosquito spray. It's basically like a mosquito spray. It's like it's, you know, I don't know if you know that smell of mosquito spray, but I cannot stand it. Right? I'm very sensitive with smells to the point where I can like literally tolerate anything. I can tolerate sights that would scare me, or feelings that make me feel worried or bad, or sounds that can be a little bit jarring. However, smells are a little bit too much for me, because like with all of the other things, with sights, with sounds, with internal feelings, there's a certain level of responsibility of the experience I'm generating, right? Because I'm seeing something and then I'm forming an opinion about it. However, with something that smells bad, at least to me, I understand that it smells bad to me because there is a literal chemical reaction happening inside my system, right? Like there are molecules, parts per millions of molecules floating in the air around me. And every single time I inhale air, hundreds of millions of those molecules, technically, maybe not hundreds of millions, millions of those molecules are bonding to my mucous membranes, right? Fusing to my body, creating chemical reactions, making me smell that smell every single time. And if this is happening while I'm eating food, it's not gonna happen, right? So I wasn't angry, but I was like, kind of like, Shantai, dis rarig, ondeurdaag en inconsiderate van jou om te doen, right? Like that was not very well thought out or considerate of you. Like I'm a very sensitive person when it comes to smells. So I couldn't eat dinner with my family, right? And I believe I am, what's the word you use, Sam? Allowed, justified those feelings, right? Surely. It might not have been very popularity points, right? I probably didn't gain any popularity points for being like, hell nah, I'm not sitting in the mosquito sprayed room. Because it's one thing, right? If you spray the mosquito stuff on yourself to keep the mosquitoes away, but putting it in the air, aerosolizing it, I'm getting angry all over again. I'm so freaking pedantic when it comes to stuff like that. I'm sorry. Sorry for my tangent. Thank you for letting me be a little bit of a jerk. I feel and have experienced that deep to my core. You are better than anyone ever told you. So much love. Terrible Tuesdays. Hope not. Seems like your beliefs are in line with love. My beliefs are in line with love. Love is true. Monstrous Mondays. Wet the bed Wednesdays. No, Wednesdays are dance day. Taco Tuesdays, Simon. Y'all eating over there. Bland food, Sam. He's British, don't you know? Mirror, mirror on the wall. Hey, Cable. I don't know if you're here anymore. Probably not. Sending you blessings, bro. Gonna start sending letters to the McCormick spice people that they start marketing heavier in your country. The British, yeah, 100%. Basically, Advaita Vedanta is the ultimate reality, is Brahman. And we are that, like a dream character. Suppose we are dreaming, we are all the characters in the dream. They are made of you, the dreamer. Yeah. I do, in part, believe that, right? But the way I see it is not necessarily a dream as much as it is conscious, right? That's where I differ. Where of a dream, it can seem very sleeping, right? Like you're sleeping and this thing is happening to you, kind of vibe. Where I don't think that's the case. I think this is all deliberate and consciously happening, right? This moment right now, the fact that you are paying attention to me right now. If you're not conscious, you will not hear what I'm saying. You will not understand the words coming out of my mouth right now. So in that way, I believe creation is a constant thing and a conscious thing, right? And that consciousness permeates everything, literally you right now as well. So that's where I kind of relate to the whole being characters of the dreamer in the dreamer, right? Like we are consciousnesses in the consciousness kind of vibe. But that consciousness is like what you reach when you reach enlightenment. You realize that that consciousness is everything, and you are that everything, and you are one with that everything. It doesn't change anything, technically speaking, right? Like you still have to consciously put food in your mouth and consciously brush your teeth and consciously go to sleep at an appropriate hour, right? Enlightenment doesn't change anything when it comes to that. Realizing that you are the dreamer doesn't really change the game or doesn't really let you wake up kind of vibe. However, because I see it as a conscious thing, I believe that this consciousness is here to love, right? When you're sleeping to rest, right? And maybe I could be wrong, and maybe the dreamer, maybe the God, maybe the consciousness in us right now is sleeping, is having a rest right now. However, I see this more as active and conscious evolution, right? Trying to uplift both the self, everything in the self, at the same time as well. And the way I try to simplify something so complex to myself is by making it almost like a job. Job sounds wrong, like a purpose, right? That if love is the reason I'm here right now, then I'm trying to like justify it in my mind. Love ought to be the purpose I'm here right now. So from that conscious perspective, every one of us looks from that conscious perspective into the world. And then we see the physical form of the world, right? And the physical form is change. The conscious part of ourselves isn't, but the physical part of ourselves is change, constant change. Your life is also feminine in that way, right? So in my mind, we ought to love the feminine part of God, which is everything we can find in this world. However, the conscious side of God, the unchanged side of God, the side of God that is allowing this moment to permeate, doesn't need anything, right? Is ceaselessly in that state of love, literally exists as that love, right? And it's a little bit hard to wrap my own head around, even though I've tried to articulate this like 1,000 times to myself. The best way to see it is just that love is true, right? And that everything else is noise. Almost like a substrate, like the foundation that this experience was built on is the actual fact of love, right? Consciousness, not necessarily a sleeping, not in my mind, right? Because sleeping, I don't know if I'm that in control. Maybe that's where my ego is getting caught right now. Deliberate with my sleep, right? If I'm sleeping, I'll dream this thing, and then I'll dream that thing, and then I'll dream so, and then I'll dream this, and then I'll dream that, right? It's very much chaotic and very much unattached, I think is the word. However, this life experience, this one you're having right now, is very much attached, right? You're pretty attached to this form. You like yourself. You like being this version of yourself. None of us want to drop dead right now, right? So in my mind, that feels like a very conscious decision. And again, to articulate it from the perspective of love, I believe that dreamer, that God, loves you, Sky Guardian, so much, right? That it does have access to all of infinity as consciousness, and yet chooses to experience through you in this moment because of how much you are loved, right? Like that's the way I try to see it. Very romantic, very, it might be a little bit hubrisy, uh, self-endearment, self-uplifting, however you want to see it. But yeah, you are the reason for existence. Like God loves you so much that it wanted to be you. I mean, Coke will stick to the stuff forever until it eats it away. My grandfather used to take rust off of parts of Coca-Cola. Yeah, you can like dissolve teeth in Coca-Cola or something as well. I quit drinking my calories, so Diet Coke it is these days. Good. I'm happy that you're not drinking your calories anymore. Diet Coke is definitely going to be better for like all of the sugar intake. It's positive reinforcement, same as external validation. I mean, positive reinforcement is external validation, but not all external validation is positive reinforcement, right? Because somebody might externally validate you while you're smoking crack, right? That's not exactly positive validation. It depends on the situation and the type of people you find yourself around. Yeah, you're right. We do have a bunch of friends here. If you're here for only a moment, you are loved. You do not need the outer world's external validation. The very act of your existence is validation enough. right? Really, really absorb that lesson. The fact that you exist is validation enough, right? Everything else we get from the outer world is but a consolation prize. Love is true. Your friend's going with my fractals. Okay. Mm, I think positive reinforcement, once repetition of certain good behaviors and external validation is like you buying a shirt that you like and your friends liking your shirt too. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Joy V, for adding more depth. I'm so sensitive to chemical smells. Me too. Like I've had fights with my dad for keeping the car idling next to my room, for example, right? Like waking up smelling fumes and instantly being viscerally enraged, right? Like you might as well try to like assault me with a weapon while I'm sleeping and I woke up from that, right? And I see you trying to thrust a spear into me. That level of anger is what I woke up from, realizing I'm breathing fumes. Like it really was like that visceral. And I was like, hey, bro, chillax. Oh, chillax. We're not that version of ourselves anymore. We need to calm down. We need to breathe. And then I go, I'm breathing fumes right now. And then I walk outside and I'm like, Dad, why are you idling the car in the garage? Right? Like, because there's like a garage and then there's my room on that side of the garage. The rest of the house is on this side. Then my room's on that side, right? So the fumes kind of like push up against the garage door and then start seeping into my room. I'm getting pissed off all over again about that as well. It's just the lack of consideration, right? Like that's the thing for me. Like, why do they not consider this stuff, right? Am I that sensitive? Am I really that sensitive, or are they that insensitive? Where am I the problem? Skis? Okay, my mom says we're both the problem. Good, at least. I could probably like the thing is, like, and I think this is my problem. I have like a bullshitometer, as you friends know, right? And I stay completely silent for the first 2/3 of my bullshitometer, But even though my mouth is silent, my mind is not. Like my mind is going ape shit, right? And then by the time my bullshitometer opens the volume gates for my mouth to start making sounds, I'm already not in a good mood, right? I've already gotten past the threshold of having a decent, calm, rational conversation. And I'm already angry because the lack of consideration had now already, surpassed all of my thresholds of things that I can accept. Love is true. I shall become more and more loving until one day somebody can strap actual gas fumes to my face and I'll still be able to smile lovingly at them. I will become so strong. Love is true. Let me continue reading some chats. What is sightlens, you ask? Big intestines? What? Small sensitive family. How many did I miss? Brussels spells militaristic. Generally genetically reworked to be less revolting. That's true, actually. They don't smell that bad anymore. We are smell sensitive family. Duckling is allowed to tell me my food smells bad, and I will eat in the kitchen. She doesn't like Chinese food at all. It's probably the vegetable oil she's smelling, bro. The spice palette, like oyster sauce and other stuff. Ah, okay. That is actually pretty curious. What you said is literally Advyata Vedanta. This isn't a dream. We are that consciousness that permeates all, and you are the dream. It's just a metaphor. Bless you, Sky. I'm not trying to fight you or trying to like give pushback. I'm just saying that I prefer to pretend I'm 100% unique, right? From my own ego perspective. Put my fingers in my ears and go, pretend like I came up with all of these things. All of this wisdom already exists. The fact that you feel a sense of synchronicity with my teachings just makes me feel even more validated. Right. That's some external validation right there. So thank you, Sky Guardian. You're so beautifully contributing and adding to today's stream point. I appreciate that so much. By the way, I don't know if you shared it, Melt, but yesterday's flower was fire. I haven't shared it with you, friends. You want to see yesterday's flower? I was really happy with how it turned out. Joy Vive subscribed, like Joy Vive has like an annual subscription. Technically, you can go monthly, but Joy Vive like pays annually. So like it's a big lump sum that comes into my account all at once. So yesterday's flower was made with love in mind, having been blessed. Look at that. You can get a fair bit of information like that, but it's like the intricate details that make this one stand out for me. Like those little hearts. I like this shape as well. Like this heart is basically like the star of this flower for me. Like I made the flower to make this heart. Like the rest of the flower is like the noise around the love that is this little flower, technically speaking. What are you doing? Okay, there we go. The shape as well, like the textures, like the way this little shadow is cast. This must be a trip to you as well, Kristen, or to the friends. Like we're doing streamception right now. Nice, right? Because you friends on Patreon, you get like unfortunately still a very compressed version of these images. Ideally, and I look forward to being able to do this, it's either going to be VR, which will be easier, or it's going to be massive projectors, or it's going to be LED walls. But I would like these flowers to be like the size of at least a 4-story building. Why do I have to go so excess, dude? Why so much excess, bro? Why 4-story building big? Why not the size of a normal wall? Fine. Fine. One wall. One wall height by the same length, right, to the side square. Massive flower. I want you to be able to stand up next to it, right? And this flower or this little heart needs to be the size of your head, kind of vibe. All right. Like you need to go right up to it and be able to look at all of those details. Hopefully, my software also gets more and more advanced as I continue making these things, because even though they're 40 megabytes in size a pop, I still want them to be even higher definition, right? Like stuff like this. Even though like this is the day before, maybe the day before this one, even though there's still high detail in this one, right? Like the amount of textures you can see in these little orange bits, I want those textures to be clean. Like they're still a little bit noisy, right? You can see like some of these edges are not as pure as I would want them. But that is also a part of my creative process. So maybe I'm asking for too much. I will ask for everything. I will ask for more than too much. I say to technology. So beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for appreciating my work. Did you know that back in the day, some Romans were partially paid in salt? I did know that, right? Like that's where one of those lines came from, like worth his weight in salt as well, or you're not worth your salt kind of vibe, because salt was such a rare commodity that the Roman soldiers literally got paid in salt sometimes. Yesterday's flower really was really good, Kristen. Bless. Hey, Zano, bless you again. Egyptian laborers who worked on Khufu's pyramid were compensated with beer. I heard, and this is also, like, I guess speculation. I don't know if it's true, but I heard that the people who built the pyramids were actually some of the most well compensated workers around. Like, being able to work on the pyramids was like a good gig. Like you got a space, you got a family that you could, raise, you got more than enough food to eat. Like you were very well compensated if you were a pyramid builder. But again, maybe the aliens did it all. All right, maybe this is all speculation as well. Who even knows? I would just like to know, to be completely honest, right? More than anything, I feel if we could like find out just more about our own human history, the amount of stuff that would illuminate. That, honestly, a lot of our human history is probably being suppressed right now. It should come out over the next few years with all of the new alien stuff as well. Carbon monoxide wake up call. Yeah, instant anger. I love the bullshit. Oh yes, Sakar. Idle day was the day you got my last birthday package. It's true, actually. I remember that morning I woke up to the car idle situation, and then by the afternoon I had Joy Beef package in my hands. Thank you for reminding me of that. Yeah, that was a good day actually. Now that I think about it. Hey Mojo, Google seems unable to convert metric butt tons to pounds. Well, I don't even know. I don't even know what a pound to ton ratio is, isn't it? You'll have to go double, like 2,100 and something, or 2,200 and something pounds is a ton. I don't know about metric butt tons though, but metric tons I do. Well, the issue is if you make something a problem, then it can affect you. But if you consider it a situation, then it no longer belongs to you. The problem is a situation. It's true. It's true, right? And I see those situations as opportunities for me to learn lessons and for me to grow and for me to be a better person. However, this was 2 days ago's stream topic. Just because you're not perfect doesn't mean you're not learning, doesn't mean you're not helping, doesn't mean you're not contributing, right? Just because you're not perfect doesn't mean you're incapable of being a teacher as well. So, just because the situation isn't perfect doesn't mean the situation can't be a teacher to you. So that's the way I've been trying to see it. Even though I do try to see it that way, it doesn't make it any easier. I think that is the joke, Mojo. Or that was Sky Guardian. Sorry, Mojo. Interesting point, Sky. Love is true. If you share that with me, I'll put it on a red bubble for you. The bullshitometer, Simon. Is that what you're talking about right now, or are you talking about the flower? You're probably talking about the flower. I haven't actually added in a while my new flowers to my Google Drive. To some of your friends that don't know, Kristen has been helping me. I have a few of them already created, but I think she's been creating more psychedelic flowers on pieces of clothing on the Redbubble store. Thank you again, Kristen, for all of the love you share. I like the center stars within the star. The little green ones, they did look good. So beautiful mounts. I have a metric butt ton of seeds arriving today. Bless you, bro. These flowers are mosaic tiles. Would be beautiful and so trippy. Where did you say that, Sam? I actually shared this with Jovan recently. My mom has a friend who can make those tiles, right? So I can technically turn my psychedelic flowers into tiles. They're like $120 a pop though, which is like $7 a tile, which is that big, right? So to like tile my shower or to tile like my kitchen backdrop. I'm doing the renders in my brain. Okay. It'll take about 500 to get like a nice long-ish streak done. Is this 500? No, it's 1,000, right? Because it'll be 10 long, 5 up. Yeah. Oh goodness. Times $7. That's easy math, I think. That's gonna be $7,000 of mosaic psychedelic little tiles, right? I mean, maybe I should start making those. Actually, that could be like a good way to generate some income. I'll just have to try and find a place where I can make them bulk, buy them for $3, sell them for 6 or something. Success. Goodness, like I'm just tripping out about paying $7,000 for tiles. And my mind being like, yeah, let's do it though. Let's pay $7,000 for tiles. I'm like, bro, I made like $7,000 the whole of 2023. What do you mean? What are you insane right now? You can't afford tiles, bro. They've been especially gorgeous lately. I've been catching myself saying wow out loud as soon as I see them. These flowers would be so beautiful and so trippy. Thank you, friends, for appreciating my work. The friends on Patreon, like seriously, the fact that you friends support me is the only reason that I feel confident enough to be able to move out. So again, thank you for appreciating my work. Thank you for supporting me in my work, for allowing me to share beautiful things with all of you. Doug, Google seems unable of again to you. I mean, the workers were well compensated until they killed them, all to stop them from blabbing out to get into the tombs, holding wealth. I don't know if that's true either. I don't know if the whole killing of them is true, unfortunately. Again, I would like to know. I would like to know all of the facts. It would be very interesting to see actually how much we've lost. However, and I learned that a butt is an absolute English measure equal to two hogsheads. Nice. And of course, two hogsheads is equivalent to three goat heads, right? And then, of course, three goat heads is equivalent to four average sheep heads. Yes, totally. And then, of course, four. Am I? I'm poking fun at you. I'm sorry, friend. Sending you so much love, Mojo. English measure equal to two hogs heads. How much does a hog head weigh? Like, I want to Google that information. Melt getting some major flower validation today. Yeah, well deserved. Thank you, Mojo. I am. External validation, right? We were talking about that today, so the fact that you friends are honoring my flowers. It feels good. That's the joke. Even though my flowers have been created, I've made them, they don't need any external validation, right? They are. They already are. Having you friends like them feels good. I don't need that. And I'm very aware of the fact that I don't need it, but I do want it. Maybe that's what we're supposed to think about validation. Maybe that's our takeaway for today's stream is that you don't need external validation. You want external validation. Do you feel that as a lesson? Do you feel it can be valuable? Do you feel it can serve you in your purpose, in your process of conscious evolution? External validation is something we want, not something we need. Is that true? Because I understand that we are a tribal species, right? We do need each other. But needing each other, needing community isn't the same thing as them validating you. And in fact, I have been significantly less validated being around my family than I have been not being around my family, right? I felt more validated not being around my family. Like, yeah, I think you get the trip I'm trying to communicate. Love is true. Dug there, hiding the crypts under a robbery of an old kingdom's graves. Like Khufu's pyramid became common knowledge during the Graeco years and Cleopatra's ruling line. Yeah, I would like to see the pyramids in their prime as well, when they were still covered in those limestones, right? Those white limestones. I think it's white limestone. The cows are staging behind for a garden raid. They were being super chill. They were walking past. Melt, I bet you can learn to hydro dip the tiles for a much lower cost. Unfortunately, I know myself, Duck Dad. And I also know hydro dipping. And I also know the version of myself that loves precision, right? The version of myself that is meticulous about stuff like this, Duck Dad. Let me show you, bro. The version of me that's meticulous about stuff like this. This is day four's flower, right? And you friends might not even notice stuff like this, but I pay very close attention to it. You see how that little corner shimmies right up to the edge? Yeah, you see that? Yeah, that's intentional. That's exactly how it's supposed to be, right? Super precise. Super super precisions, right? And as soon as I start hydro dipping stuff, all of those details are going to melt away and I will lose them. And I will lose my mind alongside it, right? Here's another one that has like 4 geometry. And look at that, right? There's a little shapes. These shapes are important. They communicate things. They say something. It might not be the centerpiece, but they're still important. And as soon as you hydro dip something, if it's like just this little bit mislined, then those corners are going to disappear. I would rather buy myself equipment, right, that I can't afford before I do it impurely. It's like the whole fractal of wanting to be perfect again, Duck Dad. Like when it comes to my flowers, especially since I create them in the digital space, right? With digital, I can literally perfect things. I can get things as close to perfect as this version of me is okay right now. And I know the future version of me is already looking at my work and going, stop, oh, come, I tried, dude. I did what I could with what I had, bruh. Just because you have godlike supercomputers and artificial intelligences and AI assistants and freaking aliens, who even knows, telecommunicating with you, doesn't mean you're better than me, bruh. Doesn't mean you're better than me. Uh, I'm just thinking about this fractal of this version of you right now and how they think they're better than who you've been. Right? This whole fractal of needing external validation, maybe a part of or wanting external validation, maybe a part of our want for external validation is due to our own realization that we are now better than we used to be, right? And we, upon realizing that about ourselves, want other people to affirm those things, right? We want them to validate our getting better as well. Gentle reminder to hit that like button and subscribe, and I'm just giving it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Bethany. Even starting with like the whole YouTuber shtick, I could feel my soul, starting to like run through the rocks. Oh, no, no. Amen, Hot Head Tep, and Tutmos. These poor dudes, bro. Imagine having names like that. I shouldn't laugh. My name is Estia. The first were the first pharaohs entombed in the Valley of the Kings, which began the trend of hiding the mausoleums to protect them from robbers. What a trip. Melt getting some major flower love again. So much love. Thank you, Mojo, for being a supporter there as well, friend. The first robbers were the high priests. They wanted to challenge the power of the current dynasty. I wouldn't be surprised. So much wisdom coming out. Your flowers suck. I mean, I never thought about them in the sexual capacity, but I guess they could. I guess if you really wanted to get sucked off by one of my flowers, eventually you could, like that. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about that, bro. I don't know if I feel right about it. Mm, I guess your technology, your choice. I think that's the closest thing I can get to an answer. No, Doc Ted, no. No, I don't believe him. Don't you worry. Yeah, there. Now, we keep your head on straight. Bad tactics my families would use if I was getting too much external validation. Nah, bro. I'll take it, bro. I'll take your insults and take it as a way to embarrass you with it, probably. Spin it on its head. Wordplay right back at you, man. Suck one now. I'm sorry, Simon. Pretend you didn't hear anything I just said, dude. No, we're not. We're not. Duck Dad said my flowers suck. And I was like, technically speaking, they could. They could. Jo, kunstbloemen is bij hem mooi. Dank je, Zano. She said my arch flowers are beautiful. Very beautiful, technically. She used the word we have in Afrikaans for very. Fire. A lot of. A lot of beautiful. Lollipop. Lollipopping is a technique where you cut the third bottom of growth from your plants, exposing only their top growth to the sun. Yeah, yeah. Hey, Fit Demon. It's nice seeing you, bro. Sending you so much love. It's been a while. We're getting into considering external validation. I've been getting so externally validated by you friends today. So I don't know if you need any external validation or if you want any external validation, but you are loved. Thank you for joining us. Know that you don't actually need it, right? One of the lessons we came to is the fact that external validation is more something we want than something we need, right? Because technically, when it comes to needs, you need to eat, you need to sleep, you need to breathe, you need to drink water, right? And if you do those things, the conditions have already been met for you to be validated, right? Like you are already validated, just simply existing. And then if somebody out there in the world goes, "Hey, you're pretty cool, Fit Demon," then that external validation, right, only exists as an extension of the valid thing that you already are. So now that you are loved, go and validate other people as well. Hey, Luke, sending you blessings, dear friend. It's nice having you. You're a cool dude. Get validated, bro. Need to validate my existence to everyone. No, my existence doesn't depend on your approval. Exactly. Exactly. None of our existences depends on each other's approval. However, by existing well, you'll get approval, right? Not because you need it, but because you want it. You know, from like a and living optimally perspective. How can we live optimally? How can we reach the ideal state of being? Realizing that if we became a hyper advanced species, that is going to be our objective. How do we reach the ideal state of being? I believe the ideal state of being is love, right? Unifying love. Love to the point of not seeing other. Love to the point of wanting to reduce suffering, wanting to help. Love to the point of not being willing to tolerate suffering, right? That's the ideal state of being in my mind. But I might be wrong. So, what is it for you? What does the ideal state of being look like? And can you get there? How long will it take us? Realizing that, it's again about the journey, not about the destination. I want to see a stream where you make flowers now. You've got me intrigued on your process, and I'm here for it. A musician never reveals his secrets, Duck Dad. You think I will teach you how to make flowers? I will actually. I've thought about it. I've thought about creating like a whole, not Patreon, not Skillshare. There we go, Skillshare class. You know, of like teaching you how to make flowers. Maybe I still will, Duck Dad. But again, maybe if I do streams like that, it'll be like a thing. I'll start my I'm making the flower stream, and then I'll show my whole process. I'll probably do like a screen record, or if I can do like a screen share, that would be ideal. Maybe I'll plug my device in, duplicate the screen, stream that screen through the internet. Like it's just a freaking all of the buttons that need to be pressed technically in the back end can be pressed, right? They can. Unfortunately, there are language models, right? Like there's a large action model that came out now recently with a little device attached to it. I've lightly told you friends about that. But if that thing could be taught how to do the things that I want to do, it will become such a powerful tool to me that I would love to. Because then I could literally just go, hey, I'm gonna start creating my flower, record my screen, and after I've recorded my screen, post that footage to YouTube if it has to be a recording kind of thing, or instantly start a live stream off this recorded stream, or this recorded feed of me creating my flowers. And then I can leave my button and I don't have to use my flash to do that too, bro. Like using these things to interface with my technology becomes more and more infuriating by the day, right? Because I'm like so painfully aware of the limitations. It's so low bandwidth. So low bandwidth. But it is what it is. At least for now. It is what it is. I want to make flowers now. God knows. So tedious, Doug. Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty tedious. It is pretty tedious. It's gonna be like watching me cook kind of vibe, right? It's gonna be like watching me play a game. Could be the vibe as well. It's gonna look like me making a bunch of mistakes from another perspective until there's a final product, right? But it's not gonna be very like riveting content. At least I don't think so. It might be psychedelic, right? Depending on how high you are, it might be more and more riveting. But unfortunately, not many people are accessing the psychedelic state of mind at all times. At least not right now, right? So maybe I'll have to adjust my frame of reference for the future. Who knows? Who knows what we'll be capable of 10 years from now? I'm going to pretend I'm missing some of these comments. Gentle reminder, loving Jan. It was cool having someone new stumble in yesterday. It really was. Fit Demon, this friend here with us as well, is also one of the new friends who found us through YouTube, I believe. It's always nice when we get a new friend in stream, true. The inner cringe, but it helps. Yeah, exactly. What's a friction alien? I don't know if I want to meet one. A friction alien? What would a friction alien be? I mean, in my mind, a friction alien is an entity that exists within the plasma of like a star, right? Like there is a certain exotic matter that is being produced like on the outer skirtings of like the stars, right? A plasma. And technically, those plasmic states of matter, they're exotic, right? We don't understand what they're capable of. And there could exist aliens in those exotic matters as well. In the same way, we might be existing in like the decay of a black hole in this moment, right? But that's this is a fractal for another day. Skibidi bobbity. Skip. To clarify, I love your flowers. I know, bro. I understood where your comment was coming from, man. Thank you, my friend. Your love too. It was your energy. The first drew me here. Bless. Energy. Let my energy draw those people who need this space the most. And may they draw the people to them that needs them the most in turn. Right? And if that process continues, then over a few generations, we have touched the whole world. We have put positive, more loving ripples into it. It's your energy. Vibration is another way to see that as well. Is it possible for us to share vibrations with one another? Am I sharing vibrations right now? Right? If I suddenly go, let me see if I can completely desaturate my soul. My soul was like, nah, dude, stop it. It doesn't like that. It's like, mm-mm. There was zero expression for 2 seconds, and we shall not tolerate it. I will teach anyone any skill I possess. Yeah, me too. Like I wasn't joking about that, right? I was making a joke about not wanting to teach you, and then I told you about my true intentions of wanting to teach you. But again, I don't know if it's going to be like that popular. Again, me kind of like looking at the zeitgeist of the internet mind and being motivated by that as well. It's not like I'm being motivated by what's popular, but when you're making videos, it you put yourself in a different state of consciousness, right? And that's why I enjoy the live streaming, because I don't have to occupy that state of consciousness, right? The writing scripts, the taking multiple shots, the trying to compile shots, the trying to get music that matches, the trying to cut things on musical beats, the punching in and out, the like it's like a whole, it's pedantic, right? It's very finicky, like when it comes to this interaction that I'm trying to have with you, right? Where this feels a little bit more authentic to me. I do like creating videos, but I guess I have to get better at it, right? Better at the creating part. Because I feel like I'm not bad at the showing up for it, but I'm still kind of bad at the creating part, and I feel like maybe that's my bottleneck. That's why I'm not doing it more. What is a chupa chop? Is chupa Spanish for sock? Interesting facts. Salvador Dali designed the Chupa Chop logo. I think Chupa Chop is probably a brand in that case. That is pretty interesting. Thank you for, for teaching us a fun fact, Demon. I haven't had one of those in years, Fit. A Chupa Chop? Hey, Google, what is a Chupa Chop? Chupa Chups. Chupa Chups is a Spanish brand of lollipop. How about that? Oh, I do know this brand. Right? Like you're gonna know this brand as well. You're like, no, Mel, I don't know Chupa Chups. Now I'm gonna show you what the logo looks like, and then you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I've seen that. I know exactly. Oh yeah. All right. How about that? Connection made. Salvador Dali still living in our world, having a little space in our brain, right, to recognize things. Baking stream for the win. I love Dali tarot cards. I didn't know he had a tarot card design. That's super cool. In regards to what? Dali the best. Me, neither. Joy Vive. I would eat one a day if I could. I like watching people cook. Me too, technically speaking. And I also like watching people work with plants. So, again, it's like a content thing, right? Like the content in and of itself, like me just screen recording and then just posting that, is not gonna be entertaining enough. It's not gonna be saturated enough. I'm gonna have to have like freaking Subway Surfers and a podcast up top, while I'm busy making my flower in the middle to keep a person watching for 5 seconds. And I wish I was joking about this as well, and I wish it didn't bother me as much as it does, but so it be. I am making my flowers, right? That is technically the the destination. I'm sharing the destination with you, friends. Like the journey to getting there. It's a lot for me, at least, right? Like it's like mental baggage. Like I'm shedding mental baggage while I'm making my flowers. Like I'm thinking about stuff, and I'm like going through my oorfone. Wat gebruik? Ja, okay. Dad was asking if he can use my earphones. I guess so. I'm just starting to learn about it. Knowing lots about ancient religion seems to be a part of it. Did I miss something? Let me see. Like watching people cook, makes sense. Baking stream. I guess so. The religions. Italian person when I was 5 by 7 inches, which made it more impressive. Uh, Physiophy is chasing after something. Theosophy is chasing after something it will not be able to achieve. I mean, is that the right word? Hey Google, define theosophy. Theosophy, so kan nie meer woord ek leer. Theosophy, any of a number of philosophies maintaining the knowledge of God may be achieved through spiritual ecstasy, deeper intuition, or specific individual relations. Especially the movement founded in 1875 as the Theosophical Society by Helena Blavatsky and Henry Steele. Theosophy. Person when I was 5. As me. Theosophy. Any number of philosophies maintaining that the knowledge of God may be achieved through spiritual ecstasy, direct intuition, or special individual relations. It says relations, but realizations feels like what I want to read in that moment. Like, I definitely feel there's some theosophy. Like, that word is so hard for me to say as well. Theosophy in my kind of like personal journey as well, because I do maintain that knowledge of God can be achieved through spiritual ecstasy. Feels very cheap, unfortunately, when it's said like that. Spiritual ecstasy, right? Because like it makes it sound impure in a weird way. I don't know, maybe it's my personal, because I know what ecstasy is, you know. I live in the year 2024 or whatever. But spiritual ecstasy to me is just this deep sense of feeling safe and held, right, by the entire universe. Right? It's like this deep sense of certainty that not only does the universe know about you, but is like conspiring to help you. Like the universe is like smiling to themselves, you know, knowing that they've placed this beautiful challenge on your path, you know, seeing how strong you become, how wise you grow, how much you learn, putting people on your path and seeing how much you love them, right? Like that's how I see the universe. And when you have that moment of spiritual ecstasy, you have that relationship. You're like, this is love. This is the love that I believe is true of the universe, right? And nothing in that moment can convince you otherwise. It's so funny how so quickly after coming away from that experience, you can find yourself completely caught up in your own nonsense, day-to-day life stuff as well. There goes my light. So it be, hey Joe, the Joe is here with us as well, sending you blessings, bro. Nancy too, sending you love and friend. Speaking of psychedelics, I have never done any. Too scared of that stuff, but it seems like you have done. Have you done ayahuasca? No, I have personally not done ayahuasca. I have done NN-DMT 3 times though, which is technically the compound that you drink when you drink ayahuasca. So I did like the speed run of the ayahuasca experience. Instead of going for 6 hours, I was in and out for like between 9 to 15 minutes, sometimes even less than that. So I've had those experiences. I've eaten a bunch of mushrooms. I've taken a bunch of LSD. But those are the psychedelics that I'm familiar with. Those are the ones that I've personally learned from, to say it in so many words. And they are orders of magnitude, right? And like, I'm not condoning the use of these things, of course. I am just sharing my personal experiences and what I've learned from them. Mushrooms is where I started, because that's what I felt called to. And all of the mushrooms that I ate were of the golden teacher variety. And they very much were teachers in my life. I learned so much about myself from those experiences. And I was very much firm in my belief that The only thing that I ought to do is what Mother Nature provided for me. So I was very firm on only smoking weed and eating mushrooms. And then I met a bunch of friends, and they took me to psychedelic parties. And I told them, I made it known to them that psychedelics do not affect me, that it does most people. I do not get psychedelic visuals. I have pushed myself into the upper echelons of what high doses would be considered. The highest dose mushroom trip I've had is 7.77 grams of mushrooms. And I do not get psychedelic visuals, right? Maybe at most there will be warping, there will be noise, right? Like noise loops created. Like I'll see a texture and that texture will bleed into itself, right? That's the most. There's no there's no like kaleidoscopic kind of nature psychedelic effects. And making this known to these friends, they were like, okay, maybe you need to try LSD. And I was very apprehensive. I didn't exactly want to go in that direction because I didn't know what it was or where it came from or how it got to where it was in that moment. Where with a fungal body, if I see a mushroom in front of me, it's very easy for me to picture, oh, this thing grew out of a substrate and then got picked off of that substrate, right? Like that's pretty easy for me to think of as the process before I go into my psychedelic experience. Then the one friend who suggested that I go on this experience with him, he was a chemist, right? Like an actual chemist. So he explained to me how LSD was made, right? And explained to me how they take, LSA or like the precursor compounds, which can be derived from nature, and it gets taken through this process and it gets turned into this compound, and how the compound looks and how it bonds to your brain and how your serotonin receptors basically wraps itself around them, so the effects end up lasting longer. And I was sold. I was like, okay, I feel like I understand more about this experience now, so I'm willing to go through with it. And where all of my previous experiences before that moment have been informed by mushrooms, where it's very much a lack of psychedelic experience on the outside, but like a profound realization on the inside. The LSD was more realizing how profound the outside was, to articulate it in so many words, right? Where I was in this deep sense of fascination and excitement to be able to go and talk to people, right? Like at one point during my, like almost at the peak of my trip, I had these glow in the dark or like UV reactive crayons, and I was on the dance floor painting people's faces, right? And every single time a new person would come to have their face painted, I would make it clear to them that this is the first time I ever took LSD, and they're gonna get what they're gonna get. And they were like, wow, it's the first time you're LSD. This is the perfect time for me to get my face painted. And it was just this deep sense of like trust, like me being allowed to put lines, right? Like it's one thing to have like something put on your arm where you can see this person drawing something, but to trust a stranger who is literally tripping on LSD to paint things in your face. And I didn't try and ruin their stuff. I made cool designs, like they looked cool. I was stripping, of course, but they did look super cool, and people were happy with them. And if I did it for friends, they would like hype each other up with their face paintings. So like I took away from that experience this very much like external part of myself when it comes to the psychedelic experience, where with mushrooms for the longest time it was very much an internal experience that I had to deal with. And then I tried DMT, and DMT was almost like mushrooms and LSD were like trying to be DMT. Like DMT was their big brother, and they've been looking up to this big brother their whole lives, and they really try to like be like him, right? But they fall short in some ways, right? Like that was like my first experience with DMT, where I was like, oh goodness, oh jeez, this is how much is out there always, and then you come back to reality, and the simplicity of having a body, the simplicity of being able to and move your individual fingers, of feeling the grass underneath your feet, of being able to breathe, of having a conversation with your friends. I did it with 3 of my friends. We were 4 in the group. Like it was so spiritually ecstatic, right? Like the simple fact of being a group of friends, sitting next to a river, having conversations, right? We just had this DMT experience together, and then walking back home, right? Like a few kilometers, being in a state of like just bliss, of awe, of like looking at things, of noticing things in my environment that I didn't see just 2 hours ago when I walked this exact same road on the way there, right? Like that kind of just opening this life experience up to you. Consciousness. Jeez. The fact that all of us are just holding consciousness, right? Within us. DMT as well, technically, right? If you're scared, maybe this is another thing to tell you, right? And I, again, do not condone the use of anything, right? If you want to experience something, experience life exactly as it is, right? And if you want to experience more, do breathwork exercises. Breathwork exercises will take you places, right? You'll realize that there is depths within you available already. You don't even have to take an endogenous substance, right? The endogenous substances help. They're very easy in comparison. It can be exhausting doing breathwork exercises, but yeah, love is true. Is that Tate freaking Taylor? Dude, do you know how much I've been thinking about you, Tate? Like a lot, bro. Like an uncomfortable amount. I've been growing plants, so I've been thinking about you as well. Tell me, Tate, if you're here. Tell me, Tate. Tell me you're here. If you're still here, I want to show you something. If you're not here, I'll move on. I hope Tate is still here. Bro, what a vibe having you here. To all the friends joining us, love you again. Thank you for finding yourself here right now. How many did I miss? Yeah, he's still here. Okay. Okay, fine. Fine. Right. YouTube's probably not gonna like this, but we've had some conversations in the stream that YouTube is not gonna like either, so suck it, YouTube. I'm gonna switch over to let's go on an adventure. Ah, yes. The psychedelic experience stories. You do not need psychedelics for auditory hallucinations. I've heard things since I was a kid. How about that? Say Tater here. Gorgeous day, right? Like this might not be the best scene, but I'll point us upwards. We can look up. There's some relatively wild grapes growing here. And then around this corner is our little greenhouse. Them's cows. Them's greenhouse. Remember me telling you friends about the scrog net that I constructed from short lengths of wire? Now you get to see that as well. All right. I made this out of lengths of wire about like this long. That's where like the joinery goes. Nut. Yeah, and here are my plants. These are the ones growing outside. Bruh, this thing's not focusing. Yeah. You can see they're being tied down. That looks like it's biting into her, but it's not. She's fine. All of these little branches are being pulled open. I've never really spent this much time meticulously training outdoor plants, but they look so beautiful. So healthy, right? So healthy looking. Like Tate, you'll know what this is or how weird it looks, bro. Look at that, dude. You, this is a tri-node plant. I think it might be a male though, unfortunately. But like every node, bro. Look at that. 3 nodes. 1, 2, and here at the back is number 3. And then again, 1. Here's the other 2 leaves. Those little ones I stripped in the back. This one as well. 1, and then 2, 3. So to you friends who are like, what are you talking about, dude? You see how there's 3 leaves coming out the top there? And how they have like 3 little permeating sites? Usually, they only have two. They only have two like that, right? So this is like a mutant. My first mutant. But can they suck? No. I mean, this one might be male. Maybe might be male. I'm watching her, so I'll know if I know, but like, you see, like she might. That one I'm not sure still, but this one I'm relatively sure about. They're not mature enough to start opening up. But look at that. That right there might be a little pollen sac. But again, maybes. I'll give them some more time to mature. If they do end up becoming a little bit more full, then I'll know. This is my biggest looking one. I actually ended up topping her at her 10th branch. Also looking like she's starting to show. I don't know if this is like a super quick flowering plant or if it might be some like autoflower genetics or something. But the fact that those are like already showing, potentially showing sex is like not normal to me. Like I'm used to plants being this big before they start showing their sex. But they're super open, trying to create as much solar surface for them to absorb information. Yeah, I'm really hoping that this turns out to be a girl because she looks so healthy. Such a happy looking plant. Such round leaves as well. This one I'm pretty sure is a girl though, which I'm also stoked about. I think she might be my favorite. This is the one I told you about that has like such a thick stem. Look at that. I don't know if it's going to translate on the internet or on the camera, but that's like, how can I we'll have this reference, right? Let's do this side. Thicker than this little thing. And then in comparison, this one is also one of the thicker ones. But these ones in comparison are like as thick as this thing. And they're technically older. This one is a little thinner than that other one as well, and it's much bigger in comparison as well. Yeah, it's making me happy. Thank you, friends, for letting me share with you. Look at this one. She was not happy about her training. She completely pulled herself up and out of the ground. She's like, nah, dude. I want to stand up for myself. This is basically what training looks like. You're gonna go like, bro, that she doesn't want it. She's like, nah, dude. I'm gonna have to drive that little sticky more. There we go. Should be enough. And then bring these little branches up to the top. Let them see sunlight. There we go. All right. Hello, puppy. Hello, sweetie girl. Happy little babies. Do you play the kalimba for the green babies? Not for these ones too much, actually. I do plan on playing kalimba more for the babies that I'm gonna be creating next. Have a little bit more time to. I'm super jelly. You're loved, bro. Right now it's nice and warm. Library's next to town. Over is bigger. Just seeing the good vibes in chat's making me happy. Weed babies getting externally validated. Yes, exactly, dude. All of the external validation. And then some. Switching over back to my Wi-Fi. See if it takes. sweetie girl. Sweetie. What you seeing? No little Burmese. All right. Let's get ourselves seated again. We can finish up our stream. Where's the kitties? Is one of them coming? Oh, she coming. Look at how pregnant she is. Hey, little preggy girl. Hello, preggies. Hello, preggy. Oh, look at that preggy stomach. Oh, so preggy. Oh, so preggies. Oh, wow. So comfortable. What you doing? Asking you shall receive, Joy. Okay. Finish up time. Give yourself a hug and then a hug to Uncle Becky. Sending my hug as well. Love is true. Let's see. Which card will we pull? Rebecca Campbell. Have you seen this deck of cards? I don't know if you've seen it just yet on B, but it's a new one we got. We're pulling. It's an Oracle deck, so whatever you feel you need help with, send those good vibes this way. We don't need external validation, but it can help sometimes. This one right here. I feel like this is very much related to our stream topic, but it's like taking a very neutral stance. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. The way the shadows are also creating more psychedelic layering to it. Man, what a cool interactive universe we live within. Is that Tahoe? Bless you, bro. It's nice seeing your name. Do you start your stream at the same time every day? I always seem to catch you at the back half. Yeah. 4 p.m. my time is when I want to be sitting down and streaming. Like, I'm usually like rushing because I finish my yoga stream or my yoga class around 3:55 if I'm lucky. And then in that 5 minutes, I'm like trying to get my stuff set up, trying to get my lights, trying to get my microphones, you know, trying to get my thumbnail taken, trying to get my photo taken for my flower tonight, you know, and then I start actually going live around 4 p.m. So that is 1 hour and 40 minutes in reverse, right? 1 hour and 45 minutes technically. Back is when my average starting time is. We'll see you again, Fedimon. Bless you, bro. Okay. I love going on farm adventures. Bless. One more time. Dance with life. Let's read what it means. What does it mean to dance with life? Card number 62. Do something to change your energy. Life is always moving. If you resist this ever changing flow, your energy will become stagnant and you will flow out of, and you will fall out of flow with the universe. The universe has a mysterious, intelligent force, a natural, rhythmic beat which governs all life. One of the best ways to shift your energy, frequency, and vibration is to put on some music and dance along with it. When we dance, unrestrained, our spirit takes over, and with each new bop, sway, and kick, we are rocked back into harmony with the rest of life. The fact that tomorrow is going to be dance day, and we're reading this card almost like as a finish today's stream. If it was like an episode, right? Like every one of these streams were an episode, this episode is going to end on this note. And then the next episode is going to start with me dancing. This is making me so happy. Get unstuck by doing something that shifts your vibration. Put on some music, dance unrestrained, and fall into the frequency of life. In doing so, your body will begin to learn how to be moved by your intuition, which is connected with this systemic beat. If dancing isn't your thing, then simply do something that you would not usually do to shift the energy. You cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created it, and you cannot attract a different experience without changing your energy first. It's time to shift things up and to find a way to dance along with the beat of life. Do something to change your energy. Instructions unclear. Energy change. Just at 6 a.m. Pacific time in California is when stream starts for me. Not sure what time it is in Ireland, Fit. Shit. Like, big ups to Joy Vive for being up at 6 a.m. to join my streams. Goodness. That's probably 2 p.m. my time. Joy Vive, bless. I need to get unstuck. Here is your call to awareness. Dear Zano, you've got this, dear friend. You're super powerful. Yeah, I'm feeling like this card was for me. Are you going to be dancing with me tomorrow? I hope so. You deserve all of the validating. I'm going to get my little animals in the shot. Yassi. I couldn't have wished for it to be better. Pippi is eating her foot. Shelby is growing her children. Look at them. Working dogs. Dogs with jobs. That's a cat melt. It's basically a dog, yo. It's like a dog, but actually a cat. The fuck are you talking about? I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to cope. I'm going to heat up some of the strawberry runs, and then I'm going to take my kalimba and sit on that rock. And I'm gonna finish today's stream. Just so that we have the itinerary. You know what's happening. No, I sometimes don't properly communicate, and my dad does that too, and it drives my mom insane, so I should be better. Right? Be super clear. Be super clear and articulate with exactly what it is I want to do. And then stick to it. Make plans and stick to it. Mm-hmm. There we go. Love is true. Mad admiration for Joy Vive and all of the other West Coast early risers for love, right? Thank you, Mojo, for honoring them as well. Yes, do your best, exactly. Tahoe says, I rarely join on time. I stumble in at like 7 a.m. specific time and usually later. Just happy to catch 5 minutes. Thank you, Tahoe. It really is just about that for me as well, man. Like you can check in for a single moment, say I love you everybody, and then literally check out again and not even be there for me to read your message. And I would still appreciate you taking the time. So seriously, friends, thank you. Thank you for taking any of your time to be here with me, to celebrate love in this way, to have these conversations. Gotta run, but dudes, oh my goodness, I love you also. Very crazy. Muy macho. Wishing you the very best day, full of wonder and splendor. Thank you, beloved Kristen, for sending all of our friends lovin's as well. That's enough. Try rolling out of bed at 5:15 and dressed and on the yoga mat at 5:30 a.m. I should have actually clarified that this is also true. Not only is Joy Vive managing to be here at 6 a.m., she's also managing to be in my yoga classes by 5:30 a.m. And she has been consistently showing up. I think she's maybe like missed 2 days or 3 days in like the last 3 months. She's been super consistent and impressively so. Everybody externally validate. Oh, bro. Joy Vive. I just knocked over my freaking glass of water again. I think that's like my highest score for knocking over glasses in a single stream. Then do that war cry again. I can't. Wait a second. And just do your best. And if you can't, do your best and do nothing and tell everyone, beat it nerds or kick rocks. And then do that war cry again. Love is true. Thank you, friends, for showing up for love in the unique way that you do. Realize that your experience, your person, your fractal, exactly the way that you are, contributes to people's lives. You know, and I'm saying that from the perspective of believing that I have contributed to your friends' lives, right? But in the exact same breath, I want to say, you friends have influenced my life, right? Like Joy Vive is one person in this space who has impressed me with her enthusiasm, with her tenacity, with her willingness to continue. Jovan has impressed me with her creative skill, with her soft heart, with her consideration of this space, her consistency in sticking with it as well. Duck Dad has impressed me in his ability to get my feathers riled up, my ability to get his feathers all riled up, and then our ability to come back into this space and still have a conversation the next day. I can keep going, but I think you friends get the point. Love is true. Thank you so much for being exactly who you are and for contributing to this space in the way that you do. We live for love, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 love, 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 la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 love, la 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 la, loving for love, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, skibbity bum, bum ba-dee, bum scum, bum ba-dum, bum bum, bum ba-dum ba-dum, bum scum, bum ba-dum ba-dum. Dum dum bum dum ba-dum squadum dum ba-dum. Um, this stick is Not long for this world anymore. Hey! Ooh! I just knocked my ass bone against an especially hard piece of this rock. And I know what you're thinking, Mel, aren't all the pieces of the rock hard? And I'd say that's very astute of you. Maybe it just hit a little bit more bony part of my ass. Okay, kalimba time. That was true. And just like that, We have completely, consciously evolved. Hello, kitty. You came and say hi? Come and listen to the Calimbers? You want to say hi to our friends? You want to say hi? Yeah, hello. Say meow. You want to say meow to us? That's a nice meow. Thank you. Thank you, meow meow. Yeah. Let's go. Come. You want to scratchy scratchy? Oh, that does look nice. I'm gonna stretch as well. Hey, you wanna be silly silly? Look at that kitty just majestically standing next to them trees. Might have been needlessly showing you patio this whole time. Look at kitty, like that's picturesque right there. Let me see if I can switch and review you. I'm gonna have to do the dip. Bruh, I cannot zoom with the new Google layout or something like it seems. Please, sir, let me use my zoom. There we go. Yeah. It looks so bad. I know. You're like, YouTube is doing a poor job of compressing the information. No, it actually looks that bad on my screen as well. Look at that kitty looking up in the tree. I just wanted to show you that. Now that it's been shown. Let's go back to the selfie view. Whew. Okay. I'm here for the flattery. Totally kidding. Please don't. It was a joke. Love is true. Have you joined us? Nothing says loving like something from the oven. I think I'm still high from last night. Bless you, Nancy. May the rest of your day be so wonderful as you continue, your high-minded experience. We have our Shanify Joe message. Thank you so much, Joe, for saying, have the most comforting day, everyone. Your for realzer, for really realzy, realzers, for you toothy truthy, truth so very superly duperly worthy, honorable Meltmore, and all of you, oh so delightfully divine, perfectly imperfect, authentically wholesome humanimal critter creatures, validating others while realizing the necessity of focusing on self validation and finding fulfillment within. I see spaceships. That's the closest way to sum up. Love is true. Thank you for all of the external validation, beloved friends. Here I am, someone external to you, telling you that I love you. Not because you deserve it, but because you are lovable, right? Sheerly for the fact that you are existing right now, sheerly for the fact that you can hear those words, right? That makes you worthy of that love. Get validated, and I'll see you friends again soon, tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody. Cheers for now. Stay cool, guys. We will if you do too. Cheers, friends. Goodbye, everybody.